As a human being ka template, it should be Vidya Balan. Being an actor is being a professional human being because our job is to portray human behavior.
Yeah. 2020 was a very weird and uncertain year for everyone. But for Neil Bhoopalam, professionally, it was an amazing year, as he had 3 releases along with an unforgettable cameo in Shakuntala Devi last year. So, first of all, welcome to SpotboyE, Neil. And secondly, did this kind of professional success at a time of, I'll say, the onset of a very weird time for the country, came as a good relief or distraction for you?
Yes, definitely. First, thank you for a superb introduction, Akash. And yes, you're absolutely right. It did come as a nice distraction. It was nice to focus on the good things in life. और जैसे कि आपने कहा था, it was the most of my work that had been released at one time. And generally, lockdown ke pehle and in the old world, that would be a sign to get busier and busier. But it just so happens that wo nahi ho paya.
Things kind of took a turn.
Yes, sir. I think life happens to you.
Yeah. So, like in your first film, I should say, No One Killed Jessica, like your first prominent film, you worked with Vidya. And now, last year, after 10 years almost, you were, played the role of a boyfriend in Shakuntala Devi. So, how had Vidya changed in these 10 years? Did you?
She looks the same. And as a performer, Vidya Balan is really a supreme kalakar, is one of India's best. And it was such a, even in No One Killed Jessica, I remember one of our night shoots, which we were shooting in Delhi at IIM's AIMS hospital in the night. And then there was one scene where like she was not in that scene and we performed it. And it was my character that was on, and she went to the monitor to see it. And uske baad she comes up to me and says, I thought that was a really good performance. And I felt really nice that, she took the trouble, because for a lead actor, you have so much to do at that time. And then to be able to just also be mindful of everybody else around is really nice.
Okay.
And there's something about her energy. No wonder why people just adore her.
Yeah.
Unka jo personality hai and the drive to do some, she's just being who she is. And I think I said this a long time ago, and after working on Shakuntala Devi, and also big thank you to Anu Menon, our director, for wanting to get me on board. I said, I think as a human being ka template, it should be Vidya Balan. Vidya Balan is the template, and everybody needs to arrive at that.
That's so sweet. But let's go 10 years back. So, how did your entry into acting happen?
Well, I'm eternally grateful to Atul Kumar, who is my theater director. And when I was 19, we started performing. We started doing some workshops. So theater was my introduction to it. And back then, I thought it would be, this is a little longer than 10 years ago. I'm 38 right now. I was 19 when I started performing for stage. Yeah,
exactly.
Good mathematics.
I have a mathematics honor student, so yeah.
Whoa, that's tremendous.
Yeah.
So I believe it started there. He saw Mr. Atul Kumar saw some potential in me, and I managed to start performing there. Or Evolution, who are in the media. Yeah. Very quickly, multiplexes were on a big boom. So there were many more screens, and then more people wanted to make movies. And the time I decided to become a professional actor, to commit my 100% jaan towards acting, was post Devdi,
Okay.
the movie like
Mhm.
Devdi. When I'd
Yeah.
seen that, I was like, that was sabut that different kind of movies and stories could be told. So, so that's how it is. And there was No One Killed Jessica and Shaitan,
Yeah.
which came out the same year.
Hmm.
So you were right. It is a prominent film. Usse pehle I had done like lesser
Yeah.
known films,
Yeah.
but that's where it sort of kick-started my profession as an actor.
Yeah. So like 10 years, it's a long time. Not that long considering how our industry works, but yeah, 10 years still, it's a long time.
Yeah,
How has this journey been?
it's very good. It's very good. I had heard somewhere being an actor is being a professional human being because our job is to portray human behavior
Yeah.
in a more sort of laboratory manner of jo scene likha hai, and
Hmm.
you work into the parameters of that.
Hmm.
So I'm only intrigued and interested to see कि अब आगे how are we going to go up ahead, because general rhythms of human beings have changed.
Hmm.
What brings you happiness, how you express your love towards your friends and your family,
Hmm.
थोड़ा shift हुआ है.
Yeah.
So now you may see different kinds of human behavior
Yeah.
from performers.
Hmm.
Um, uh, yeah, what used to be a big deal 2 years ago
Hmm.
is not a big deal for
Yeah.
us. We've all got Thera. Everybody has become a philosopher in their own right.
Yeah.
you know. So it's interesting. I want to wait and watch and see how things evolve.
Okay. Okay. So like 10 years or maybe 19 years back when you started acting,
Right.
really, are you content at where you are? Like what you have imagined yourself to be at that time?
Yes, good question. Yes, I think when you're in your 20s, you have dreams and you sort of think, oh, uh, you're going to become a big superstar like Bruce Lee or something.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what one of my main focuses was, I said, see, I thoroughly enjoy performing.
Hmm.
Like most of us, we are all first generation mass media.
Yeah.
ऐसा नहीं कि our parents were part of the mass media or they had any sort of connections. So I said, if I want to be a professional actor,
Hmm.
then what I'm looking for is consistent work.
Hmm.
Like I need to work every year, and I also need to see in a 10-year format. It's interesting you started with a 10-year because as long as the average of the work you do is on the better side,
Yeah.
then you're good. Then those 10 years will give you work for another 10 years.
Yeah.
So that's the only, in fact, I'm honored that I'm talking to a mathematician, honest
Mhm.
person, because maths is very important to me now.
Yeah.
Pehle, I was like, I thought being an artist is this very esoteric,
Hmm.
sort of free flowing, कि उसमें structure नहीं है, but hair structure है. If you
Yeah.
follow the last 3 years, you'll realize that there are certain months where there is more work because that's where the mass media works more. The monsoon is off season because shoots nahi ho rahe India mein,
Yeah.
unless you go outdoors or
Hmm.
unless you shoot in a studio.
Yeah.
So generally from January to about before June
Hmm.
is a season, and then August onwards is another
Yeah.
season of work.
Yeah. True. True. That is like the major also release market in the second half
Hmm.
when the holiday season comes. Yeah.
Right.
So just like you said that the 10 years of work will kind of ensure your next 10 years of work. So was that a kind of thought process behind choosing your projects? Because you have taken your time in choosing projects in these 10 years. You have not been
Right.
like just grappling on anything that you are getting offered. So was that the
Yeah.
same thought process behind?
I I realized it is something that I want to do till I'm way beyond a senior citizen also. So that's when I realized कि कोई जल्दी नहीं है. As long as you keep doing work,
Hmm.
as you keep doing, I didn't want to uh, focus on quantity. I
Hmm.
wanted to focus on quality.
Yeah.
And ये भी, don't get me wrong. I feel these are factors which are way beyond the artist. क्योंकि
Hmm.
जो हो रहा है industry में,
Hmm.
like you would see, there's a massive trend to make thrillers
Yeah.
now. So that it hooks you. There are not so many comedies that are being
Hmm.
made into series, or
Yeah.
so, and movies also. Only the really big guys now are making films. उनका भी gamble है. अगर नहीं चली तो
Yeah.
it's a big loss. So, but I'm hopeful. I think it is. We're still in a good place,
Yeah.
and as Indians, we're very good at making sure that the work doesn't completely stop.
Hmm. True. So, like, you come from theater, and a lot of theater actors kind of have a different perception towards the craft. They are more respectful towards it, if that's the correct word to use. So they have a kind of, so were you also of the same mindset when you came
Ji.
into films?
Because I learned my entire craft from the stage, and not just the talent or the craft of it. It teaches you how to be a team player.
Hmm.
It's like being a sportsman.
Yeah.
You could be the best cricketer or best footballer, but if your
Hmm.
team is not good,
Hmm.
then you're probably not going to win.
Yeah.
you know
True.
so you need to make sure that you can work as a team.
Hmm.
And if you're talking about respect, which is a beautiful quality that you mentioned,
Hmm.
you are nothing if you don't have a writer. You are nothing if you don't have a camera person. You cannot go anywhere if you don't have a director to captain the entire thing.
Yeah.
Obviously a producer to spend, to put
Hmm.
stuff up, to put people up,
Hmm.
transport, ये वो location, सब कुछ. So I
Hmm.
think immense respect needs to go into each of these departments.
Hmm.
And by the time you're on set, even as a performer,
Hmm.
it is just a culmination of all those energies coming together, जो capture होता है उस 2-3 मिनट की scene में, or whatever shot में.
Okay. Okay. And like throughout your career, you have done some strong supporting characters, integral to the
Mhm.
storyline, but not as many lead characters. So, has there been
Yes,
apprehension of how this might reflect in your future prospects?
very valid point. Perhaps, maybe very slightly, I had thought about it.
Hmm.
Um, but having said that, I feel like if I had the same amount of opportunities in terms
Hmm.
of the amount of screen time that I got,
Hmm.
and this was say 15 years ago, I would have much more apprehension.
Hmm.
But I do not believe. I think this works to my advantage right
Yeah.
now. Okay, I can then be on, because if somebody has a 40-day schedule,
Hmm.
my work with them is about 10 to 12 days,
Yeah.
15 days, right?
Yeah.
So as opposed to working on one story for 30 days,
Hmm.
I get to work on 2 or 3 stories,
Hmm.
which is a great opportunity to do more. So I get my quota of working days, but it's
Yeah.
distributed.
Yeah. Maths kick in here again. Yeah.
Correcto mundo.
Yeah. And also, like, you have been a part of stories that have very strong female characters around you, be it Four More
Ji.
Shots, be it No One Killed Jessica or Masaba Masaba. So, do you feel proud of taking that kind of initiative? Like, no offense, but still in our industry, people are still apprehensive about taking roles when it comes to strong female stories. So, but you have taken that step and you have been very comfortable in doing that. So, do you feel a sense of pride in that?
Yes, I feel a sense of, I'm grateful because um, when producers or casting directors, or perhaps the director would tell me about, this is the project they're working on, it's female centric, and there's a integral part, for a man to play
Yeah.
this thing, I feel flattered because they're
Mm,
choosing me.
mm,
They've put a lot of thought into their story and who is going to represent, who's going to be the face of their
mm,
story, and then who is the world that they're putting together.
mm,
So, so I thought that was like in NH10.
mm,
Initially, I was like, oh, I don't know, but then Atul Mongia, who is a casting director,
mm,
he spoke to me and he's like, buddy, I mean, this is a really, really big one, and
yeah.
I suggest you consider just jumping on board.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, yeah, actually. And then I was like, there was no turning back. I was just like, wow, this is um like I said, as long as I'm busy, then it's all good. And it's on a good canvas.
Mm. So, how have these strong women characters inspired you in real
Well, my wife, Nandini Shrikant, is a pretty strong character.
life?
So I'm used to
Yeah.
strong women in my life. Um, and it just, you look forward to your work,
Mm,
you try and contribute and give your best,
yeah.
because you're getting their energy. So it's your duty to try and push and play the best game that you can play.
Mm. Okay.